I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial. Fairfield County is a great place to be from. And I say that as someone who actually lived there, in Fairfield and Shelton, and I worked in Stamford. I know it well, and I do get the appeal, I really do. But I also know what it cost me, and I know what I found when I left. Because 15 years ago, I ended up in Glastonbury, Connecticut. My only impression of Hartford before I moved here was driving to UConn games at the XL Center when I was at college. Parking lots, traffic, a downtown that felt like it was trying way too hard and not quite getting there. I was not excited at all. 15 years later, I'm still here. I built a life here, built a business here, and I help people relocate to this area every single day. So in this video, I want to tell you the honest story of how I got here, what surprised me when I arrived, and what I know now that I wish someone had told me before I moved. I came from somewhere else. I had my own skepticism about this area, and I think that makes me a more useful guide than someone with hometown pride baked into everything that they say, because I have been exactly where a lot of you are right now. So let's go back to the beginning. I grew up in Rhode Island, a small rural town called Foster, and if you've never heard of it, that's kind of the point. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, where the land is just part of your daily life, where you're aware of the seasons in a way that people who grow up in more urban areas often aren't. The ocean was accessible about an hour away, but Foster itself, it's more woods and farms and quiet roads. It was a very particular kind of upbringing, and it shaped a lot about how I see the world. After college, I ended up in Fairfield County, and look, Fairfield County, it's beautiful. The Gold Coast towns, the proximity to the city, the restaurants, the energy. When you're in your 20s working in Stamford, there's a lot to love about it. But here's what nobody really talks about when they talk about Fairfield County. It's the cost. Not just the housing costs, though those are significant, but the cost of the lifestyle itself. Everything is expensive. Dinner out, a weekend activity, even just groceries. You're constantly aware of what things cost because it matters a lot. And there's also a pace to it, a hustle, especially if you're commuting into Stamford or the city. You're moving fast, you're spending a lot, and you're not always sure what you're getting in return beyond the status of a zip code. I wasn't unhappy there, but I also wasn't sure I was living the life I actually wanted versus the life that seemed like the right move. And then I kind of ended up in Glastonbury. Not because I researched it extensively, not because I had a master plan. Life just moved me there, the way life oftentimes does. And I showed up with some vague impressions that most people from lower Connecticut often have about Hartford, which is to say, not great ones. I thought Hartford was a struggling city. I thought the suburbs were fine, but pretty unremarkable. And I thought it was the kind of place that people ended up, not the kind of place people chose. And I was wrong about almost all of it. And I want to tell you exactly what I found, starting with the thing that surprised me the most, which had nothing to do with what I expected. The first thing that surprised me about Glastonbury, it was the food scene. I wasn't expecting it. When people think Connecticut suburbs, they think chain restaurants off the highway. And yes, those do exist, but Glastonbury has a genuinely good, independent restaurant scene. Perico is a staple, solid Italian, the kind of place that becomes your go-to without you even deciding it. Sayulita for Mexican, Birch Hill Tavern when you want something more casual and local, and Two Hopewell, which is one of those spots that feels like a genuine find, the kind of restaurant you'd expect in a city tucked into a suburb. These are the kinds of places with real kitchens, real chefs, real regulars, the kind of spots you become a regular at yourself. The second thing that surprised me was how family-oriented it is without feeling suffocating about it. There's a sense of community here that I hadn't really felt since Foster. People know their neighbors, kids play outside, there are events and festivals, and a main street that actually has stuff on it. But honestly, the thing that got me, the thing I really didn't see coming, was the land. Glastonbury has farms, real working farms. Scott's Orchard, Belltown Hill, Rob's Farm. These aren't quaint tourist attractions. They're part of the rhythm of life here. You hit the farm stand on the way home, you take your kids apple picking at Belltown Hill in October, like it's just what you do on a Saturday. Riverfront Park along the Connecticut River has trails that are beautiful year-round. And if you've never been to Blacklead Falls, find it. It's one of those spots that makes you realize you're living somewhere with real natural character. Growing up in a much more rural town, I had always been connected to the land in a way that Fairfield County never really offered. I didn't realize how much I'd missed it until I found it again in Glastonbury. The farms, the orchards, the river trails, they weren't novel to me. They felt like coming back to something I'd been grown up with and quietly lost along the way. And in the fall especially, and I know this sounds like a cliche, but hear me out. Glastonbury is genuinely an incredibly beautiful place. The foliage along the river, the orchards in peak season, the smell of cider at Scott's on a cool October morning. It has a quality that surprises almost everyone else once they move here, especially from somewhere much more urban. And then I discovered West Hartford. If Glastonbury is where I felt grounded, West Hartford is where I felt alive. The center, which is this dense, walkable stretch of restaurants and shops and bars, has an energy that I genuinely didn't expect to find in a Connecticut suburb. Max Oyster Bar, Savoy, Harvest, these are serious restaurants, the kind of places you drive to if you were somewhere else. Here, they're just a regular Thursday night option. The first time I spent a Saturday afternoon in West Hartford, walking around, having lunch, watching people, I remember thinking, okay, this is actually somewhere. And that feeling has never really gone away. 15 years in, I still feel it. But I want to be honest with you about something. Because feeling like a place is great and actually feeling like it is home are two very different things. And that part took a little bit longer than I expected. I want to be real with you about something. It wasn't instant. There wasn't a single moment where I thought, this is it, I'm home. It was a lot quieter than that. It was a season of fall that I didn't want to end. It was a restaurant I went back to so many times that the staff ended up knowing my order. It was a weekend when I realized I hadn't thought about Fairfield County in months. But honestly, the thing that really sealed it was having kids. When you're raising children somewhere, you stop being a visitor. You're in the schools, you're at the games, in the practices, in the school plays. You're standing on the sideline next to the same parents week after week. And you start to actually know people. Not in a surface level, way from the driveway kind of way, but in a really knowing them. And what I found in Glastonbury, and this sounds simple, but it means a lot to me, was that the parents I was meeting were like-minded. They cared about their kids. They cared about their community. They were invested in where they lived. These weren't the kinds of people who were just passing through on their way to somewhere better. They were people who had chosen to be here, and they took that very seriously. That's a hard thing to know about a place before you move there. You can research the schools, you can look up the restaurants, you can drive the streets on a Saturday afternoon, but you can't know the people until you're in it. And the people, the actual human beings you end up building life alongside, are the thing that makes a place home more than anything else. My kids are growing up here, they're in the schools, in the activities, and they're with their friends. And watching them put down roots in the same community where I've put down my roots, that's been the quietest and most profound surprise of all. It was gradual, the way all real things are. And I think that's actually important for anyone who's considering a move like this, especially if you're coming from somewhere you've lived for a long time, or somewhere with a strong identity. New York, Boston, Fairfield County, wherever. You're not going to feel at home on day one, maybe not even year one. But if the place is right for you, something shifts. The comparisons stop, you stop measuring everything against where you came from, and one day you realize you're not in a transition anymore. You're just home. That's what happened to me in Glastonbury. And I've watched it happen to dozens of my relocation clients in towns across the region. But before I tell you to pack your bags, I want to be honest about the trade-offs, because there are some, and you deserve to know them before you decide. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the greater Hartford area is perfect. That would be dishonest, and you'd sense it right away. The winters are real. This is New England after all. You're going to have cold snaps and gray stretches throughout February and definitely into March, and they're definitely going to test your patience. Hartford City proper is still a work in progress. There are parts of it that are less desirable than others. In the revitalization, it's real and it's exciting, but it's not complete. The ghost town reputation didn't come from nowhere. And if you're coming from Fairfield County, New York City, the job market is definitely different. The insurance and finance corridor here is definitely strong. There are real careers to be built, but it's not the same density of opportunity as lower Connecticut or the city. That's just the truth. But here's my honest accounting of the trade-offs. I have more space than I would have had if I stayed in Fairfield County. I have more peace, I have better access to nature, I have a community that actually functions like a community, and I spend significantly less to have all of it. For me, that math has always worked out. And for most of the people I've helped relocate here, it works out for them too. And if you're one of those people doing that math right now, trying to figure out whether the greater Hartford area is a good fit for you, I put together a relocation guide that walks through everything: towns, commutes, school districts, price points. Grab it from the link below or scan the QR code on the screen. No strings, just information. I've been in the greater Hartford area for almost 15 years now. I came here without much expectation. I stayed because it turned out to be the right place for the life that I actually wanted to live, not the one I thought I was supposed to want. And if you're somewhere right now that feels expensive or fast, or that you're running hard without getting anywhere, I definitely encourage you to take a real look at the area. Not a drive-through look, but a real one. And if you have questions, I'm here. That's what the channel's for. Before you go, I want to ask you, where are you moving from? And what's the one thing you're hoping to find here that you can't find there? Tell me in the comments below. I read and respond to every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tap the bell for notifications and subscribe if you haven't. There's a new video every week, and I'll see you on the next one.